Hello and welcome to No Load Time, episode 43. My name is Ovid Velez, and with me, as always, is the most interesting man in the world, Joel Young.
What's up, Nolo Times? Good to be back with you here on the show, episode 43, Obed. And man, there's a lot of good stuff to talk about as always.
Yeah, we got a continuation from last week that actually sort of blew up pretty good.
I know, it's like people are acting as if the stuff that we talked about last week, as if that's new news now, but I think it's just all coming together pretty.
Yeah, I think so too. But I know that you did something pretty good, something that I'm interested in doing as well. Go ahead and tell us what's up, man.
Yeah, man. So this last weekend, I was able to go out and watch finally Ready Player One. Ready Player One, for those of you not familiar, it's a Steven Spielberg movie based off of the book Ready Player One. And it's basically a virtual reality that these people are in, and it's set out way out in the future. I forget, it's like the year 2034 or something like that, right? And the world basically says in the beginning of the movie, the main character, that the world has stopped trying to fight for things that mattered, and they just basically fought to survive, and the world is like a big dump in a sense, and people just the only thing that they have to kind of escape the real world is these virtual reality headsets in this place called the Oasis. And it's really a really interesting movie, man. I mean, I'm not gonna say it's a great movie, but it's a good movie. It's a Steven Spielberg movie. It's good. The story is good. I mean, it's based off of a book. I think the best part about it that will be for people who are maybe listening to Low Time that are more into this, geek culture, pop culture, stuff, then I think you'll enjoy this movie a lot just because of the references that are being made, a lot of the different fun little stuff that you'll just be sitting there, and if your eyes are moving fast enough, and honestly, I only saw it once, so I know the next time I watch it, I'll probably catch even more stuff. But there's plenty of, old, generational characters that are just walking around in the Oasis because they're avatars, right? And then there's some new ones too that are also out there. So I thought that was really cool. I mean, no spoilers, but like there's some esports leagues that are going on right now. Some of those characters are just running around, and I thought it was really, really a clever movie. Now, again, I like it, but I don't want to get hate from those of you that are fans of the book, just because I personally did not read the book, and I know someone who did. And before I saw the movie, this person that read the book, I spoke to them, and they were telling me how much they did not like the movie, but they were making it clear it's not because the movie's not a good movie. It's just because it's so different than the book. So if you're a hardcore fan of the book, you may not have a great time just because of how drastically they changed stuff. But if you're just going just as a nerd, just having fun to watch, some cool reference and a good movie, then you'll have a good time regardless.
Yeah, based on what I heard, it's a good movie. It's enjoyable. It's fun, and that's seems to be the consensus around it. And yeah, people that love the book did not like the movie because it was very different. But it's more of based on the book. It's inspired by the book. It's not a retelling of the book. So that's just to be clear on that. But yeah, man, I really want to watch this movie. I heard really good things from what I've seen on the commercials. I've seen a lot of the references that are out there, and I've been able to catch a couple. And cool. And when you said that they're hanging around in the Oasis and they're all avatars, it just reminds me of VR chat. I don't know if you ever sat down and watched a VR chat stream. It makes for some compelling television.
That's great.
So yeah, I was just here laughing because it reminded me of your chat. But yeah, cool. That's awesome, man. I really want to watch this movie too. I may not be able to catch it in the movie theater, but I'll definitely catch it when it comes out on Blu-ray. Speaking of Blu-rays, just real quick before we jump into the actual news, they just announced, I believe it was late last night, that Black Panther is coming out on 4K Blu-ray and DVD May 15th. So if you guys are interested on that, that's going to be that. which I think, Joe, that they're probably gonna do like a digital release same week as the Avengers, like a 3 weeks early kind of thing.
I would hope because,
Yeah.
and it is, I was gonna briefly mention this at the end of the show, but since you brought it up now,
Yeah. Okay.
I definitely want to say that, if you're gonna see Avengers Infinity War, I'm getting a lot of people asking me, what do I need to see to catch up? What kind of stuff is important? Obviously, I've not seen Infinity War, so I can't answer that because you and I both haven't seen the movie. But if I had to say a guess of what's the last thing, there's a few of them that I would recommend, but I would recommend the last thing that you see is Black Panther before you see this movie, because Wakanda is going to play a very large role in what's going on and the events that take place.
Yeah.
So I highly recommend, if the movie's still playing in theaters, get out to the theater and watch it now if you can. If you can't, hopefully the digital copy comes out the same weekend. Watch the digital copy and then run out, just because I think you'll have a better, you'll like the movie, I'm sure, fine without it, but I think you'll have a more fun experience if you have the full backing of knowledge. Just like any other Marvel movie, you can skip them, but you really have more fun when you watch them sequentially.
Yeah, only issue I have with those digital copies is that usually they come out early, but they're not available for rental. It's just a purchase, and it's almost the same as freaking full price. So just to watch it and have to buy it again on Blu-ray because I will get the physical copy. I'm like that. I'm not just a digital movie guy, but yeah, for me specifically, it's gonna be pretty rough because I haven't seen Black Panther, but we'll see. I don't know. Maybe I'll be able to catch it before. I don't know. Who
Hey, yeah.
knows?
There's
Yeah.
stuff on the internet and you never know, man.
Yeah. Google's a thing. So. um, but yeah, just wanted to throw that out before we actually headed into the actual news of the week. I don't have a what's up, Joel. I played a bunch of Final Fantasy 15 again over the weekend, man. I'm on like 156 hours on it. So it's officially the game that I've played the most ever in my life. So that's just to say how much I adore that game because I absolutely love it. I think the one closest before that it's probably Persona 5 because it takes about 122 hours to get everything, and I think I did it in about 119 hours. But before that, Persona 4 was like 110, 115 hours, if I'm not wrong. But yeah, man, I really love that game so much, and I know that it got torn apart when it came out because it wasn't what a lot of people were expecting, but I loved it, and just all the additions that they've had with DLC and expansions and all that stuff that they added. Um, it just keeps me coming back, and I actually was able to finish the level 99 dungeon, the Metis sleeps under Castle Mark, and it's pretty hard. I cheesed it out, so I'm not too proud. But I did it. It's like, you know what? I just want the item at the end. That's and just finish this thing. But I was able to actually get a bunch of XP and level up pretty good. So I'm gonna see if over the weekend I'm gonna go back and try and beat Omega because it's really freaking hard. So I'm trying to get enough level, a couple more levels and a couple good items just to go back and try and beat that super boss. So um yeah, that's all I got basically. And Joe, we're just gonna go ahead and jump right in. Last week we talked about PS5 and some rumors that were floating around, and this week it's pretty much confirmed. We're not gonna give you guys the specific details from where this information came from because it's official information.
Yeah, they're cracking down on it, man.
Yeah, like the picture that I got that I was able to get a screen cap of before they took it down from Podcast Beyond and all the Facebook groups and all that. Um, it's a legit picture that allegedly was posted on Twitter by a developer that received an email from Sony. So and this email has specs and it has some additional information that we were sort of thinking about last week, and does confirm it. So I'm just going to go ahead and switch over so I can give you guys the specifics on that. Um, so the rumor that we talked about last week that this was going to be based off of the Zen architecture with a Navi GPU embedded, it's true. Apparently, that's going to be the setup. So you guys keep in mind that this chip is not available for consumers yet. This is not even out yet. Just by saying that, and with some of the information that we're going to talk about, I can give you my prediction, Joe. You heard it here first.
Do it.
So based on this information, Joel, the Zen, this is basically going to be based off Ryzen 5 CPU from AMD. It's going to have 8 cores, and the GPU will have a 14.2 teraflops of computing power, meaning that this is around 12 times more powerful than the base PS4. It's about 3 times more powerful than it's about 3.5 times more powerful than the PS4 Pro, and is 2.5 times more powerful than the Xbox One X. And it also includes 32 gigs of GDDR6 memory. So this is going to be ultra fast memory. 32 gigs is more than enough for giant worlds to load up, giant maps, and expansive worlds to be created on this device. Now, keep in mind that this is preliminary specs. This is apparently the specs that are coming in with the dev kits. Dev kits usually have a little more memory buffer space. So in my opinion, the memory may change. The CPU, GPU, probably not. Um, and one big thing that they also announced is that apparently this will have a 1 terabyte SSD versus a conventional platter drive, which it's not a lot of space, but it is an SSD. Um, and again, it could be that this is for the developer kit. They may go with a 2 terabyte option, platter disk option, or they could have the 1 terabyte SSD with the option of adding externals like the options that were added to PS4 and PS4 Pro not too long ago, right, Joel? That was about 6-8 months ago, maybe.
That's right. Not that long.
Yeah. And the another interesting thing that this information includes is that all the games that are first party Sony games that are starting production April 1st, 2018 will be developed exclusively for this platform. So anything that started April 1st, it's not coming to PS4, it's not coming to PS4, it will become an exclusive to this platform. And it also includes another bullet point stating that all PS4 Pro game and PS4 Pro enhanced games will run on the device, and they will run better that they would run on a PS4 Pro. So great news, backwards compatibility. Not that it's a killer feature right now, because Sony proved it that you don't need backwards compatibility to basically be on top of this generation as they are right now. But at the same time, it gives you a little bit more confidence because there are some fantastic experiences on PS4 that you will be able to carry over onto this device. So Joe, what do you think about all this, man?
I love it. I think all the specs make sense. They're really upping the ante, and it's to be expected. Just because I don't know if you saw Obed, what also was coming out, some stuff from Kotaku. I was reading about them saying that, hey, like it seems like 2020 is for sure when this thing is still projected to come out, but like if you want to see it come out sooner, the only thing that would really force their hand is if, like, for some reason Microsoft came out and was like, we're doing another thing and it's going to come out this time earlier. And it's possible. I mean, it's possible that they're doing stuff right now that I didn't think they would do, but they're doing it.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's possible that happens, and they might say, you know what, let's shuffle our stuff around. But and then with that being the case, especially now with the leaks, you would have to imagine that the people at Microsoft are saying, what does this mean to us? I'm sure they've seen this. So, and they're well aware of what's going on. So, I mean, it's like, hey, what does this mean to them? The competition? Does this make them now both have a console release at the same time? I love, Obed, the rumored backwards compatibility. I think that is a huge selling point. It's not even necessary. I just think it's something that when you are advertising this game, you're saying, look, like this library of stuff is going to also be able to work on here. You'll be able to get these. I think people who are in love with what they have, there's just no excuse for them not to upgrade. So I think that it's just giving a lot more, developer friendly, hopefully, focused. PS4 is a huge success in that, Obed. Like, it was way more developer friendly than the Cell engine, right? That was done with the PS3. Not that the Cell was bad; it just was never tapped into the same. But
It was very complex to work with. So
exactly. So PS4, was much easier, and now this. I've got high hopes, man. I mean, PS4 was a really well received console. PS5, assuming it's called PlayStation 5, is probably going to be another big one to look out for in another couple years.
yep. To me, the big signal that as you mentioned, that was my prediction, is this is going to be like either a mid to late 2020 release.
Yeah.
It is that April 1st date that's key, because you can, like, you need first party exclusives, right, to move your new product. You have to nail that. Even if it's okay, like the PS4's release titles, like the Killzone Shadowfall and Knack and all this, uh, day one releases. This were first party exclusives. That being said, people are saying it's like, this may come in November of 2018. No, you can do a 4K game in 6 months. This is not ET for the 2600. We're not doing that, guys. We're not. You don't have 2 weeks to make a game. This is not.
And we don't want that to be the case.
Absolutely not. And it doesn't work that way, Joel. If this thing with this specs was gonna come out in November this year, this thing's gonna be $800. I'm not gonna pay for it. I know most people won't pay for it. So this is gonna be a late 2020 device. This is gonna be this chips that they're using from AMD need to be out right now. I believe the max teraflops that you can get on a graphics card is around 9, if I'm not wrong. I'm not sure if there's a card that does 12, and those are NVIDIA cards. AMD doesn't reach there yet. So this thing is still, there's some experimental tech going on. So we'll see where it goes. I'm really excited, but at the same time, it's one of those things that again, to get a first party game, a decent first party game done, you need at least 2 years. So no, this is not coming this year. This is, I mean, at the earliest is gonna be November 2019, but I still doubt it.
Nah, yeah.
So we'll see. I'm super excited to see where this goes, and I'm hoping to get a tease at E3. Maybe we'll get something. Maybe not, because there's also a lot of rumors going around with, Spider-Man just got announced. There's Death Stranding rumors around. There's a lot of stuff. So I think 2019, 2020 will be the last push of 2020 specifically. 2020 is gonna be 2013, right? We're gonna get The Last of Us, and then we're gonna get the new console.
No, absolutely.
Yeah. So I'm super pumped for this, man. Speaking of being really excited, Joel, Those reviews for God of War dropped today, and holy crap, man! It's still sitting at 94 Metacritic with 81 reviews.
It's nearly perfect, like most places. There's only a few places that are giving a little bit of that drop, but I mean, a lot of places are giving it a near perfect score. So,
Yeah.
oh,
Nope.
but I
Actually,
told
actually just went up to 93 critics, and it's still holding at 94%.
I told you, Obed, like I've said it on the podcast, like I was already gonna buy this game. This is just confirmation. Like I wasn't on the fence. I know you were a little bit on the fence, and I understand. I mean, there's a
Yeah, I'm
lot of
sold.
games, but yeah, like this just confirmation.
Yeah. The one that really shocks me, Joel, is that Polygon gave it a perfect score. It's like Polygon does not. They give perfect scores to like frou indie games. They don't do like big AAA stuff. And they're usually like super Xbox lenient. But like I mentioned before, the person that used to be like a total Xbot is not with Polygon anymore. Uh, but I find it really interesting, man, that Polygon gave it a perfect score. That's really rare. And there was a joke running around at IGN that it was like an 11 out of 10. Like they actually posted like 11 out of 10, and then they went back and changed it. I was like, no, to a 10 out of 10 because they couldn't do it. I saw a snapshot of it. It was really funny.
That's great.
But even Xbox, even like hardcore Xbox fans are saying, yo, that yeah, we surrender.
White flag.
Yeah, white flag, waving the white flag. Yeah, but it's really impressive. So I am really interested
You
now.
know what really stands out to me is the PS4 Pro bundle. Like that's a beautiful bundle we've talked about before.
Yeah.
But with the positive word of mouth going on about this game, I would not be surprised to see a spike in sales for pros and just the bundles specifically of
So
God of War.
so I before jumping in, they said that the game itself is sold out in Amazon. So
Wow.
yeah, like pre-orders are sold out for it. Uh, and I don't know if I think there's still bundles out there, but it wouldn't surprise me that this bundle gets sold out. Yeah,
I agree.
yeah. But man, Sony keeps killing it, and then Spider-Man's coming. They just released Nino Kuni 2, got super great reviews from everyone, saying it's a great game. Detroit Become Human comes out May.
I forgot about that one. Yeah.
Yeah. There's very, very strong rumors that there's a Devil May Cry 5 that's going to be announced at E3 that's coming out this year, and it'll be PS4 exclusive at like PS4 PC, kind of like Street Fighter 5 was. And there's a very convincing theory that Death Stranding is coming out December this year. That's I doubt it, but at the same time, I'm hopeful. But it looks like we got games throughout the whole year this year versus last year. We had January, February, March, April was like packed with a bunch of games, and then there was not a lot for the rest of the year. You know, there was great games still coming out, but not in that whole big batch that we got at the beginning of last year. This year it looks like it's going to be a little bit more spread out. But man, a fantastic year again for gaming, and I'm super pumped, man. Joel, I mean, to be honest with you, man, I think like right now the PS4 stands, I think it's running against the Dreamcast for the Sega Dreamcast for my favorite console ever.
Wow, Obed.
That's because
Wow.
it's quality, man. It's just quality stuff, and it's nonstop. In the Dreamcast, you know, it had a sudden death. It was out for only 2 years, and that was it. Um, and I love it because of it's games sort of hold up, but I'm also a Sega kid, so I'm attached to it. Um, but man, the way this thing started looking right now is like this looks like no way. And I'm like we said before that I've taken my nostalgia goggles off, my nostalgia glasses, and it's like there's no better time to play video games than right now.
Absolutely. You said, I mean, like looking at PS4 right now against some of even my favorite stuff. I mean, no issues, man. I've never had any issues with it. And when I say that, I'm not just talking about even just the way it runs, just my expectations from it. Like I've gotten what I've wanted.
Oh yeah.
And that makes me feel like it's worth the money and then some because of the experiences and the joy that I have with the titles that are coming out.
Yeah, absolutely. And Joel, just to plug that Death Stranding rumor, if you guys want to check out, there's two videos by YouTube user the Tomb Portable, and he has two Death Stranding analysis videos. I'm not gonna spoil what what he thinks that Death Stranding is, but this is where that date of actually December 17th, 2018 comes from. It's from one of these videos. So if you guys want to check it out, I highly recommend it. Especially if you're into Metal Gear lore, because it's mind blowing. It's really freaking good. But just to move right along, Joel, and I'm gonna give you this one. So what happened to the Teen Titans?
Oh man, we just went from like here down to here just so fast. Okay, guys, Teen Titans, the show is announced for TNT. It's being moved to the new DC Entertainment like streaming service is supposed to be coming out later this year, where Young Justice is going to come out on there, and Metropolis, a few other different DC shows, supposed to come out on. And Teen Titans is in full effect of their production, and we got some leaked production stills that you can see of some paparazzis out there getting some shots, and it's not the first time we've talked about photos being leaked. We've talked about Shazam, Obed. We've talked about Captain Marvel. I'm usually the kind of person to say take it with a grain of salt, but look, there's one particular that everyone's talking about. But before I get to that, I'm gonna be straight across the board and say, look, because you guys think I'm biased or for different reasons. I'm gonna be straightforward with you. I don't think any of them look good, like in the roles. That's just my opinion. I don't think. I'm not saying that the show's not gonna be good.
I think Robin looks okay.
Even Robin, I'm not sold on. I'm not like I think he's the one that looks like okay, but I'm all of it. I'm just like nothing that pulls me. But you got Beast Boy is a kid with just green hair. That's it. I mean, literally, he just has his hair colored green. We have Raven, a girl with just purple hair.
A pale girl with just purple hair.
With just purple hair. I mean, that's literally as simple as it gets and as ridiculous as it gets. But I shouldn't even say that, Obed, because it gets even more ridiculous when you start getting into Starfire, if I'm not mistaken.
Starfire. Yeah.
I had to take a breather for a second there. I want to make sure I word this right.
Yeah. Hey, you know what? You're the most interesting man in the world, and we say that for a reason, right?
We do.
So you can do it,
guys. This is totally wrong. And look. I'm not trying to say that people's okay. The girl, I understand they casted a black lady. I understand that. Okay,
that's not the problem.
That's not the problem. Nothing of how she looks like Starfire. There are cosplayers, Obed, that look better than this $1 million production of a TV show. Oh, her hair is like this, not even the same color. She's wearing this dress. Obed, she's supposed to be an alien from another planet. That's her skin is orange.
Yeah.
She has I forget the color eyes now, and then this reddish brown kind of hair because it's Starfire. She's representing this star, the sun, heat, fire. Literally, like there's the reason why these colors, tones, or pattern of this way the character looks. I swear to you right now, Obed, if this girl walked out the way she looks right now, walked out on the streets, and you pulled up to some random nerd and said, which character is this girl going to be? I don't think one of them would say Starfire. I can guarantee that. Not one, Obed. They might say some kind of mutant. They might say something else. Obed, we've seen bad before. Inhumans, their costumes were not good. Yep. This makes Inhumans look good because Inhumans, at least you could recognize what characters they were going to be. I don't know what character she's supposed to be aside from the leaks that, hey, this is who she's going to be. It's that bad. It does not look anything like Starfire, Obed.
Yeah, and the thing is that even Marvel, sometimes doesn't get it right. We saw it with the Fantastic movie, and that was not Marvel, but we saw it all over the place with that movie. And we've seen it with a couple of things, like Hawkeye is completely different from the comic books, and for good reasons, right? I mean, there's you can't Wolverine, say for example, too. You can't have the comic book costume.
You can have Wolverine. I want it.
Yeah. I mean, you could, but
it's coming.
Let's say, it's coming. Yeah, a boy can dream. But this freaking guy, Hawkeye, he's totally different from the comic books, and that's fine. He's still recognizable to some extent, but man, this is egregious.
And honestly, I'm not even reading the stuff, Obed. Like, fans are angry.
Yep.
Because not only is it even just like the colors and stuff. I mean, she just looks like somebody walking on the street that's not a good person. I'm not gonna say what that is.
Oh my god!
It's just not. Look, Obed, it's just not good. It's not a good look. And I'm like, come on, DC. Like, we're in 2018 now. Like, just in the sense of what people do not want to see portrayals of, and then fans holding it to a higher standard because they have the platforms like Twitter to say things.
Yeah, it was like you mentioned. There's some, and I'm actually just looking at some pictures here because I just went and Googled it. But like, there's cosplayers that look way better with something that they made at their home versus a multi-million-dollar production. It's ridiculous, and I know that they're going for a more grounded thing, but come on,
it's almost a joke. I mean,
yeah, it's like it's bad. It's like there's no other way around it. It's just bad.
Yeah, this might be one of the worst portrayals of how a character visually looks. I'm not gonna say the acting because I don't know, but just the way the character looks, this might be one of the worst ones we've had in a while, Obed.
Yeah, for sure. My goodness, I don't know. I'm out of words. It's funny because I have a cousin that really loves the Teen Titans, and she keeps posting on Facebook like memes about it, about how terrible she looks. Yeah.
Oh my gosh! See, even the fans. That's what I'm saying.
Yeah. She was like Teen Titans forever, and I was like, oh, it's awful. Yeah. But let's move into something a little bit better that actually kind of went up like this, right? That Solo trailer dropped on Sunday night and pleasantly surprised, Joe. I'm feeling it. This looks like a fun movie.
Yeah, the first trailer was, to me, just didn't feel like Star Wars. The trailer is fine. It's not that it was badly edited or something. The story and everything just didn't feel like Star Wars. I didn't get that. There's a certain warm feeling. Maybe it's that nostalgia, Obed, but there's a certain type of feeling that I get with Star Wars when I see a trailer or hear the music or see these, spaceships, and I didn't get with the first trailer. This trailer made me feel like it was Star Wars. The bounty hunters, the adventure stories to it, the character camaraderie you see between Chewie and Han. They're joking with each other. Lando speaks, and he is awesome,
Yep.
amazing Lando. This trailer got me so much more excited, and I'm actually concerned now with my expectations because I said I actually told myself I'm probably gonna like this movie because my expectations were so low. Usually I end up liking movies because I'm like I put it so low that it surpasses it. Um, I'm not saying that this it's gone all the way up, but it's moved the meter now that I'm like, okay, this is probably going to be a good movie. So if it's anything less than a good movie, I'm going to be disappointed. But yeah, my expectations are high now, man. They've risen.
Yeah, we saw some really good shots there. Some really good shots for the Falcon. I like how it's some of the shots remind me of the some of the old like Clint Eastwood westerns. It's really good. It looks like a fun time. Also, Joe, the running joke. It's funny because after I texted you when I saw the trailer and I texted you and then you saw it. And then I responded with a joke. It's like, man, I hope Chewie makes it because the trailer ends with like Chewie's going to fall, and it's like, man, I hope Chewie makes it. And that
Spoiler alert.
yeah, and that became like the joke online. It's like, oh man, I really sure hope Chewie makes it. Yeah.
I
So
know when you texted me that, I was running home to watch the trailer because I had just got out of Ready Player One. I was like, I gotta see this Star
yeah.
Wars.
But yeah, looks good. It looks fun. I'm looking forward to it. Now I'm sold. I like it. I'm pretty happy with it. So from what I've seen, the actor that's playing Han Solo, was his name Aldrin Henrik or N
Yep,
Henrik?
Alden Aldrich.
Yeah. Um, he he doesn't look that bad. I mean, he kind of has this. You can tell that he was being coached to be Harrison
Here's the
Ford,
Ford.
and you just can't be Harrison Ford.
No, that
But
guy's amazing.
yeah, but he's trying. And he looks like he's really doing his best to do a decent Han Solo, and it looks like everyone's having fun. I don't know. A movie went through pre-production and production hell, so everyone seems to be having a good time. I don't know.
I hope so. As long as they make their money back, then they're safe. If this movie does anything less, then I'd say maybe around 800 million. It does because I don't know if it'll get a billion, but if it does anything less than that, like the normal kind of Star Wars numbers, then it'll have some issues just because of how much they spent on it. So I'm really curious to see. I don't know if you've seen Obed, but there's some predictions that it's already risen the expectation for opening box office. Um,
Good.
but I'm like this is the one time Obed, not the one time, but one of the few times that I'm like I hope that I'm wrong. That like I have when I have lower expectations, and I hope that I'm so wrong. I don't want this movie to be bad. I want it to be great. So I'm happy to see this good news. And Obed, I'm just happy as it is because look, like we just started the show off. I get an Avengers movie coming up really soon, and then the next month I get a Star Wars movie. So this fanboy is happy.
Yeah, I think I'm going to be happy too. It looks like a fun movie, and you know that there's going to be some Darth Vader in there somewhere. So
We
that's
hope.
good. I think that's going to be like the Darth Vader is going to be the the Rosario Dawson of the Star Wars story movies. It's like he's gonna be in all of them, just doing something. Like Rosario Dawson is on all the Netflix Marvel stuff. So uh, it's it looks fun, and I'm happy. I was pretty skeptical with that those first two teasers, but this looks like it's gonna be solid. So
Absolutely.
I'm hoping that is the case. And Joe, the last bit of news that I have, some gaming news, retro gaming news, if you want to say, and competitive gaming. So Billy Mitchell, Joe, Billy Mitchell is the guy that has the world record for Pac-Man, and he had a world record for Donkey Kong. He was featured on a documentary called "The King of Kong: A Fistful of Quarters" that came out, I want to say, about 10 years ago. It's a fantastic documentary. I highly recommend it to anyone that's interested in gaming and retro gaming and 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 know about arcades and all these stuff. So I highly recommend it because it's fantastic. Um, he when So this all came about when someone was watching King of Kong noticed that the level that he was playing on Donkey Kong, the way it loaded was wrong. It wasn't the way it's supposed to load on an arcade board. And the person that noticed this then went and reached out to Twin Galaxies, and watched the video of Billy Mitchell getting this record. So he studied how the level builds up when the level loads up on the screen, and it's the same way that it loads up in MAME. For those of you who don't know, it's an arcade emulator that you can use on a PC. um, so what happened, Joe, is that after investigation and consideration, Twin Galaxies took all of the Donkey Kong records away from Billy Mitchell. Like, he does not have any Donkey Kong records at all. Like, he um, lost those records. It includes an original high score that he did back in 1981 on an arcade on an original machine, and the scores that he submitted on 2005 and 2007. I believe 2007 is one that was played on King of Kong. So crazy, man, because this guy's a legend, and now he's in trouble and not being legit. Some people that I've met him say that he's the nicest guy. Uh, some other people say that he's full of crap. You know, so I mean, I haven't met the guy. I know who he is because I've followed retro gamings
Oh yeah.
for a long time. So man, I don't know. I'm conflicted, but at the same time, you know what? He sort of cheated because MAME uh, thinks load differently. You can exploit uh, score and you can exploit items on Donkey Kong, which you can't do on an original arcade board. So crazy stuff, man. Not too long ago, another guy that had a really big score on a racing game. It's an old, very very old, uh, you know, late '70s, early '80s arcade racing game. He was stripped of his record because someone actually loaded up a bot on the arcade board, and the bot was not able to get the score that he was claiming he got. It's like, if a robot can't get it, this is impossible. You did not get this score. So he was actually stripped of his score as well. So a little bit of controversy there, man. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, Billy Mitchell, like, it's unfortunate that now, like, his name will always be associated with this because he's officially lost that. And it's one thing when you have controversy. To me, this is further than that because now you legitimately have had your record stripped. So now you're just not, you're looked upon in a negative light. Where controversy, you can, flex it either way and say, maybe he is, maybe he is, In this situation, it's like, look, the facts are the facts. There is a specific regulation and specific way that you have to follow to submit these scores, and they say, like, okay, you have to visibly show that your settings are the same. You have to prove that, hey, you haven't changed your cabinet, right? All these different things. So I understand, why they do it, just because they want to make sure that nobody's like, of course this thing's rigged. They're really making sure that that argument's thrown out. And for this to be brought to light, like, I'm sure it wasn't an easy decision, but it's the one that's the right one. Like, and it's something that, like, I feel bad because I do think this guy's still. I don't think it takes away that, oh, he's not good. He was cheating the whole time. I think people can chill with that kind of mentality. He's a very talented individual when it comes to competitive gaming with this, but of course it's still reality. That's like, yeah, you definitely have the argument of, like, he had an edge, in the sense of using emulators and not the authentic way of playing, that's required for your scores, right? So it's sad, but I it won't change the way I still think, wow, this guy's a great gamer, like the way what he did, right? Brought awareness. But at the same time, I also am not gonna be the person who goes, oh, like keep his score, because it's the right decision that they made, in my opinion.
Yeah, he's still the best Pac-Man player in the world, and that you can't take that away. Um, and potentially one of the top three Donkey Kong players in the world. So uh, I don't know. I mean, legacy tainted, unfortunately. But again, if you guys go see, I don't think it's Netflix anymore. But if you guys have a chance to watch The King of Kong, it's fantastic, and you see that he's a little bit full of crap with some of the stuff he does, um, but also you'll see how legit he is when it comes to Pac-Man and other things. But unfortunately, some of these old school guys are shady too. It's nothing new. So
Nothing new.
yeah. But that's what I got, Joel. I don't know if you have anything else.
No, nothing else. I mean, I'm just excited. I would recommend again to you guys, get out there, watch these Avengers movies, because it's coming. Infinity War is going to be an event, and I think Obed and I may have some special plans. We'll see.
Yeah.
So there's a lot more of exciting stuff to come on No Load Time. But Obed, if it's good, I'll go ahead and start wrapping it up here. So we thank you for taking time out of your day. As always, listen to us here on No Load Time, but we ask you to stay connected with us through social media. So go ahead and follow us at No Load Time. That's at No Load Time on Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and Twitch. And if you are also listening to the audio version of us right now on our podcast, No Load Time, you can subscribe to us on iTunes, Google Play, and SoundCloud. If you are a subscriber on iTunes, please go ahead and drop us a review. That would really help us out. As well, we're asking you to go ahead and give us feedback. So there's an email address that we have. That's noloadtime@gmail.com. If you send an email to noloadtime@gmail.com, you can send your questions, comments, and we may even be something that we address here on the shows we've done in the past. So we thank you guys so much for taking time out of your day to listen to us, and we're excited for the future of No Load Time. And keep gaming, keep watching, keep reading, and we look forward to the next time.
Yeah. Thank you guys for listening, and we'll see you guys on the next show.